There we go. You can see that second game is gonna be starting about half a minute. So it's gonna be the home map for Rocket Beans TV. Let's see what they're gonna be performing on their home map as on the home map of their opponents on Lombardia from Biras Etapas. That was actually one hell of a battle. So quite curious how this time the second game is gonna go. And it's definitely promising to be another very interesting match. Let's click in. There we go. And of course, you're gonna be seeing a lot of fat guys running around at the start. And of course, they're gonna be helping with a bit of scouting, and it's gonna be all about not forgetting them outside of the bases. You can see there's already gonna be a lot of relics actually spawned right next to the top team, next to Poxo and his teammates. So that's potentially gonna be a bit of an advantage for them with all of those relics. But otherwise, of course, everybody is gonna be everywhere. And this is a funny spawn. This is kind of funny spawn. Not really funny for Poxo, to be honest. Because all the rest, you can see that right now, VladVonCarstein with his Chinese, or rather Burmese, sorry, is gonna be on the left. Then in the middle, there is gonna be Moneimon playing with Spanish. And another pocket player is gonna be Cambridge with Mongols. Whereas the last player is gonna be Chinese Poxo, and he's gonna be quite far away, kinda. I can see this is quite a bit of a distance. It's gonna be very hard to wall up from all the way here to all the way. Well, he's kinda getting lucky. Because if he had to go all the way, of course, here, right next to the wall, that would be quite a long way. But right now we can do like a short one there and between the woods, so that's not really all that daunting as it potentially could have been. But well, we'll see what's gonna be the plan, because I would be expecting that maybe RBTV will be attempting some king snipes. So let's see if that's gonna be really working for them or not, because at this point, looking at Poxo and how close he is to Stonepiece, you can see within one actually screen, then we definitely will be expecting that this is gonna be the attempt that is gonna be made. So I'm thinking that Poxo would be doing a good job if he actually tried to hide his king somewhere else, like for example in one of the towers there, as to be going a long way towards actually making sure that he's not gonna be really surprised all that much and he doesn't forget to run away. For the opponents, we're gonna be looking at the same civilizations. Looking at that, yeah, pretty much. It's gonna be the same Burmese, Chinese, Mongols with Spanish, with the same players that we have seen in the last game. So yeah, everything is set up for another 1 hour game as the one that we have seen in the first one. But of course, the kings are just gonna be running everywhere. You can see even the one from the Chinese is gonna be meeting his friend, that is the Mongol. They look the same, but of course, it's gonna make sense because of course, in the past, especially around the Mongolian invasion of the China, they were pretty much one country. So it makes sense that they would be also looking similar, since we are talking about the Middle Ages, about like Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan and everything like that. So we are gonna be also looking at an interesting spot that MangoBread is in. He's also kind of far away, similar to his opponent Poxo on the other side. Also kind of farther away from his opponent, so he's gonna be having to wall. Well, probably not at the back too much, but in the front he also does have a bit of a patch of wood. So wall there and there, not really all that bad as it potentially could have been, and in the front it's gonna be fairly easy. Just here, and this is just all the way through side of the map, so not really any kind of problem. And he does have quite a good fortification in the middle. He already had to delete the wall because he was luring a boar in, but otherwise those 3 towers and the castle being in the front, actually 4 towers, is a very good spawn for him. Very nice indeed. As for Poxo, is not gonna be anything nice like that. Can't see he's having all the towers, unfortunately for him, at the backside. So not really huge defense for him, so definitely harder time for him. Let's see if he's gonna be paying for that, or if MangoBread on the other side of the map is gonna be able to take advantage of it. Of course, you're also gonna be looking into the middle, where, for example, the Burmese pocket Sommos is gonna be having a very nice position on the gold. You can see another gold right behind the base and right behind the gate. Of course, gonna be helping quite a bit with everybody going into the fuel age, and exactly the player Sommos that we are talking about is gonna be advancing as the latest. But curiously enough, you can see Poxo. He's the Chinese. Oh well, of course that makes sense that he will be advancing with 23. He's the Chinese, and as the first one, with Lottchen going right behind him, 1 villager less. But that only 21 villagers coming forward for Stonepiece might be a problem. Maybe or not. No, it's the same as the opposing Spanish in there. But late advance from Sommos might be a bit of a worry, because even though he's gonna be having slightly stronger economy, let's see if it's gonna be really working out for him or not as the opponent, as the Burmese went with 1 villager less and quite a bit faster. Quite a bit faster indeed overall. So, of course, you're gonna be waiting for a proper boom, as everybody's also gonna be hurrying up into the castle age and then going for extra TCs and everything like that. So maybe in the meantime, we could be looking at a bit of a wall in, so that nobody is surprised. You can see already going for the stone, not only for the necessary town centers in the castle age, but also as a Chinese, you could be going for a few more castles somewhere in the Imperial age so that you can start spamming the Chukonus, which are, of course, a very strong unit in the Imperial age when you are properly upgraded. Well, already a bit of walling coming forward. You can see it's gonna be a creative walling and quite a good cooperation right there between Poxo and Moneimon. Gonna be, of course, building those markets, a few houses, some blacksmith and markets even more. Right in there, there's gonna be one passage through, so probably they're gonna have to plug in at least one of the palisade walls, maybe a double in there, who knows. Definitely a possibility. No, he is actually wanting to be sure and put in a house there, so that he isn't surprised at all. It's gonna be 1 gold for him. That is basically part of the wall in there, and another gold right in the middle. That's gonna be definitely helpful, and they already will be thinking about the trade. So at this point when I look at that, this might be actually a problem for a trade route in the later game. Because you might be thinking, they are next to the wall, it's gonna be safe completely for the trade cards. Yeah, well, that's just basically one part only of it. Because the second part is, there's gonna be a lot of economy going on, a lot of buildings inside. And that means that a lot of things that actually the trade cards will be stopped by, and we'll have to somehow find better pathing around. So this is actually not such a great spawn for ByTs, and they could be actually paying for it if the game is long enough. And the trade cards might be really inefficient for them. So I'm slightly worried for them about that, as there's a bit of walling coming on, with of course no loom forward coming for Poxo. So he really has to be careful with the defense in there. You can see that he's even receiving a bit of help from Cambridge, so that he makes sure that he finishes with all the stone walling, and that is exactly very important and something that we don't see happening from RBTV at all. So rocket beans, interestingly enough, are not even walling, for example, there, which is an absolutely obvious wall that absolutely needs to happen. And then, of course, in the middle, which could be kind of tricky, because he could be greedy. He could be maybe getting a bit greedy, like going for a wall there, there, like using all of those patches of the wood here. Like, kind of why not? Because Regicide Fortress is quite often about proper map control, and if you can relegate that, and like basically steal half of the map from the opponent so that he cannot go there all that much, and basically at all either, then it's gonna be going a long way, because you can just produce military buildings in the middle, and that is of course gonna be always helping you replace faster than your opponent potentially can if he is gonna be attacking you. You can see hidden stone behind the castles. Slightly unfortunate maybe, as it could be blocking a few villages here and there. So of course it's gonna be up to Red to deal with that. But otherwise already conquistadors coming forward, but the walling is already done. You can see that Poxo did think ahead, and he was exactly expecting what might be coming. So very well done. Very well done indeed, and he already is walling basically for the second time here behind this starting wall with all of the buildings, because he realizes that this is gonna be kind of difficult, as Cambridge is right now gonna be losing the scout. But he did give the information that is about Sommos and, no, rather Stoneplace. Stoneplace is the Spanish, coming forward with the conquistadors for a bit of raiding. In the meantime, I would be expecting that something similar should be happening from the other side, from ByTs as well. But so far we don't really see that movement. Just see MangoBread right now following after the grey guy, after VladVonCarstein with his scout. As of course Moneimon was also having a bit of a look for himself in there, scouting on the Wolfie and maybe also onto this Wolfie as well, because this is gonna be where the trade is gonna be starting a bit later for Rocket Beans TV, from about here all the way to the other side of the map, about there. So yeah, it seems like a much better trade route, to be honest, than what the opponents will have to actually face. I'm really expecting that ByTs are gonna be having pretty significant problem with that. Anyway, a bit of walling still continuing by Poxo, as Poxo is very well aware that he needs to wall up, as this is basically very dangerous if you don't do it on a map like Regicide Fortress, as all the raiding is going to be coming forward, of course, not only the Chukonus from him, but from his opponent as well. And much more importantly, usually the conquistadors are the first to be entering the enemy side and trying to destroy what they can. And of course, some walling villages that are usually the first of those to go. Kinda interesting that he actually chooses to wall this way. Would be maybe expecting that he might actually want to use a bit of a wood line in there, but maybe doesn't want to risk like siege on edges or something like that, or rather only on edges, because of course we are on the expansions, so you don't really need the siege on edges there all that much, as there is even an Arambai finally making an appearance, some new unit here coming forward as well for this RTS League season, and that is completely and utterly destroyed MangoBread Scout. And of course this army could be definitely dangerous, because Moneimon with his teammates are definitely using the opportunity to push forward and somehow surprise the opponents because, well, to be honest, considering that this is a home map for RBTV, it's fairly surprising that they actually aren't walling a whole lot more diligently, because at this point it seems like that it might be just a bit too late. Not even walling in between themselves, you can see he's advancing forward with the TC so that he does have protection for the gold and even party of the stone in there, but no extra walling whatsoever, and well, this is gonna be their downfall. This is certainly gonna be their downfall, mark my words here, because I have seen so many Regicides on Fortress before, and of course, whoever actually fails at walling is usually the one who is gonna be having very big problems, because the raiding is just impossible to stop at that point, and of course the trade is gonna be suffering quite significantly. And trade on a late game map as Regicide Fortress is always very important. Alright, so Stone Please is gonna be just destroying maybe a few of those or not. Well, he should be basically just hit and run in the villages, exactly like that. Yep. Shoot them dead. Exactly, but of course, with all those Chukonos being present, and even more coming forward from Poxo, it's not really gonna be any kind of easy job from this one dude, especially with the precision. It's not exactly the renowned characteristic of Conquistadors. Yep. Dying right there, so it seems like that at this point, with all the received assistance that the villager is getting from the soldiers, he's gonna be finishing with the balling, which is very important for him, of course. In the meantime, you can see similar battle at the very bottom, where Moneimon is right now moving with the Conquistadors, whereas his opponent Lottchen is using the Chukonos, and he seems to be defending exactly in the same way. So yeah, Conquistadors, pretty good unit, but against the Chukonos, not exactly too much. And not exactly too much. It seems like right now, though, that they have lost interest in somehow going into Teal's base. So maybe Teal right now will be having enough opportunity to finish with the walling, and he absolutely certainly should. Bit of a stone walling never hurt anybody, especially on a map like this, so let's see if he's gonna be following up. Bit of a, of course, threat is there still, also for Cambridge, so if maybe, for example, Stone Please did manage to get a few more extra Conquistadors, he could be still sneaking in, destroying a few villages here and there, but well, it seems like this window of opportunity is gonna be closing down, as wheelbarrows are being researched all across the map, as he is also dropping the houses, and maybe gonna be dropping a few more extra buildings around here. And if he doesn't have any more, then it's of course gonna be up to the walls to finish with that. Okay, so Sommos buying a bit of wood and food, so that he can advance a bit faster. It seems like at this point, as Botkinero is coming forward for Poxo. So is he like already preparing for some kind of raid-in? Where is green? There is green. Oh! Is he gonna notice? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So basically this one villager from Sommos snuck through. She does have flow, so she's gonna be dealing with the wolf here quite fine, but all of those dudes coming forward, are they gonna be able to destroy something? Quite probably so. Quite probably gonna be just coming for the gold miners and for the farmers here as well. So let's see how many he's gonna be able to kill before Sommos is gonna be retreating into a bit of a safety. As of course this army, he doesn't have anything to defend it with, as his allies are somewhere all across the map. You can see the Chukonos still trying to find the Conquistadors from Moneimon, as Moneimon does have a few opportunities here and there to shoot at some Teal units and of course destroy them in the process. So nicely done right there as well on this job. Okay, so they are already safe, so I think they didn't kill even a single villager. This one though is probably gonna die because he's very far away from home. I would be expecting that he might really destroy quite... Those guys might be still destroying quite plenty more. Oh yeah. Not really surviving, and that could be a bit of an opportunity right now for Lottchen to lose a few guys as well. And this is exactly the danger why you need to wall on Regicide Fortress, because if you don't, exactly this happens. And your teammates are not gonna be really helping you, or rather thanking you for all of this all that much, because right now this village is probably gonna die as well. Can they shoot there? Yes, they can. Oh, but they must hit. And they didn't. But at least he's gonna be housing his opponent slightly. Ever so slightly, because he still does have about 15 more population slots, so he's kinda fine here. But yeah, well, any kind of nuisance like that, of course, is gonna be helping quite a bit in a mirror matchup that we are exactly having here. Okay, wolf outside of the gate, destroyed by this brave villager, and otherwise, where are the Conquistadors? I don't really see them anymore, so they're probably dead. As the walling has been finally finished for MangoBread on the left side, and he's even gonna be continuing with basically right now second row of walling, which is exactly quite advisable, because that is gonna be needed against the assault that is quite inevitably gonna be coming from Biras Itapos in this battle. So far though, we have to say that RBTV are yet again leading on the score by about 100 points, not really bad, as Imperial Ages are coming forward with even Hauda coming forward from Sommos and Bloodlines. So are we gonna be seeing elephants? We're gonna be coming for stables for him. Quite plenty of them. So it's definitely not impossible that it's gonna be exactly the course of action for him. For the opponents, for the opposing Burmese. For VladVonCarstein, what do we see from him? Bloodlines as well. Haven't noticed anything else before that. So maybe somebody in the chat did. So you'll be knowing slightly better what actually going to be coming on here. But of course, with the Imperial Ages coming forward, we're gonna be looking at the villages. And the villager count for ByTs are actually quite a bit better. You can see 109, 106 and 92, 94. Whereas for the opponents, that's the first 100 for MangoBread now. And then 90, 89 and 96. So yeah, the economies are slightly better. Slightly better for ByT. So let's see if it's gonna be paying off, as it, well, in the end pretty much did in the first game as well. Though that was not really decided by the economies, as RBTV were able to catch up quite fine. And in the end, it was all about disrupting the trade route, which is quite often how late game games actually get decided. So yeah, Wallen is done. Monk just waiting to be remembered one day and maybe sent home with the relic. Right now by Cambridge, as he's building a castle for a full-on defense. And this is exactly right now what we are talking about. What we were talking about at the start of the game. That the trade route and the trade cards are gonna be getting blocked everywhere because of the spawn of the map. You can see right now all the villages, all the buildings. This is gonna be a veritable disaster for the trade, for ByTs. So even though they are doing pretty good job in the wall in here everywhere, this is really not gonna be nice. This is not gonna be nice. If this game goes like the next half an hour, for example, then the trade is gonna be really difficult, and you can see the battle elephants are gonna be coming even from the Burmese, from ByTs. So yep, a lot of elephants are gonna be in the battle as the first Chukonus are arriving in the battlefield for Lottchen into the attack. So what is he actually gonna be supported by? So far we see a few conquistadors, but I don't exactly expect that's gonna be it. Should be expecting that MangoBread, as the Mongol is gonna be supplying quite plenty of mango rice very soon indeed, getting into the Imperial Age, getting the Botkin arrow in there, but that's still gonna be a bit ways off. So he's coming forward maybe to try a bit of raiding, and he's gonna be discovering exactly the elephants from the opponent, which are not really upgraded fully yet, but they are of course gonna be coming there quite soon. Well, that was good. Double hit, of course, with the Conquistadors, with the Chukonus. But yeah, he right now has to be careful, because of course they do have quite a solid splash damage, which so far hasn't been fixed, as of course the patch to Wololo Kingdoms is still just gonna be coming up. Hopefully, it's gonna be coming soon enough. Soon enough indeed, so that we are gonna be playing at the best version of the game that is available. But well, of course, it's still fair, so everybody is gonna be having the same conditions, so it's gonna be absolutely the same for all of those elites coming forward that are already elite from the Burmese Sommos. So let's see when he's gonna be unleashed onto the opponent. He's quite probably gonna be helping with the attack of the Spanish player Stonebleeze on the right side against the rest of the Spanish in the game, as of course Birasitapas is a basically full-on Spanish clan, whereas the Germans are gonna be attacking with all kinds of units. But I'm gonna be waiting what actually is gonna be the unit of choice right now for Stonebleeze come, as I will be fully expecting that he's gonna be as a Spanish switching into the Paladins, and the combination of Paladins with the Battle Elephants might be getting kinda scary in there, even though of course Halberdiers would be obvious counterplay to something like that, though not exactly as strong. Not exactly as strong, so still the combination of Paladins with the Elephants might be quite good enough. Okay, so the Trebuchets are probably gonna be dying. You can see the villages are not gonna be surviving much either. With the Chukonus are somehow moving onto the right side also, and we're gonna be moving to the top side, to the top left side. There finally some kind of attack is coming forward, but Moneimon is gonna be putting a stop to that quite fully with his Paladins, which are almost fully upgraded. And even coinage is coming forward for him. And yeah, well, the Paladins are already through. So drill supremacy. Wow. Supremacy for stone, please. This is gonna be fun. Is he really gonna be coming with villages onto the opponent? He seems to be maybe even thinking about it. Let's see. How many TCs does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's kinda normal. But if he was going for some Will Rush, he would be dropping them like mad at this point. So it's probably not gonna be anything all that major, or is it? Maybe not. Right now, Siege Workshop, as of course the Elephants have already made their way through into Poxo's base, and he will be definitely needing assistance very soon indeed. As though those elites are very strong, they almost fully upgraded it seems like, blastfulness, so they're gonna be fully upgraded very soon. And of course, it seems like the Chukanus are not exactly gonna be the correct unit against that. And well, who's gonna be helping him then? Paladins are coming forward. Yep. Paladins, the horses are gonna be there in no time, and of course all the help is gonna be exactly in place. But the question is if it's gonna be fast enough, because at this point Poxo is gonna be losing quite a bit of momentum and maybe losing a lot of economy as well. Even though he's at 109, he's also having right now 10 villages idle, and maybe it's gonna be growing. And of course the lost economical time might be quite significant for him, as otherwise the economies are really solid, still stronger for ByT. So let's see if they're gonna be able to make that count, as this is now gonna be full on defense, even with some MangoBread coming from Cambridge. As on the left part of the battlefield we are gonna be looking at the Paladins from Moneimon pushing forward, as apparently the initial attack from all of those Chukanus from Lottchen has kinda failed, and it seems like that this is gonna be the army or composition that is gonna be working for BRC Tapas on the left quite a bit better, as we're just waiting for all of those castles to be done for Rocket Beans TV, and of course all of those MangoBread fully upgraded and everything being unleashed with a lot of siege rams apparently as well. You can see they're already gonna be hidden in the siege workshop. But let's go back to the actual battlefield that is right now underway, and that is on the right side, and we should be also looking where potentially the kings are. But I'm thinking that Poxo has already retreated with the king somewhere into safety. Don't really know where that is. Don't really know where that is right about now, but of course we just can basically tell that the king is nowhere close by, and the Chukanus with all the support that he can get, with of course the Paladins working as like kind of a stop sign for all the elephants to be standing still, fighting in there, and basically getting a lot of arrows into their heads from not only the Chukanus but also the MangoBread as well. This is working very well, and even though the siege jumps are of course quite a nice idea to get rid of the castles, it just might not be enough, as with all the assistance right now this is pretty much like 2.5 against 1, and that is not something that could be working. So yeah, here you can just basically waiting when Stoneplease is gonna be fully joining into the battlefield, and what is he gonna be producing for the battle. It seems so far that he might be continuing with the Conquistadors. Here you can see he's continuing with the elites and going for the upgrades into the arch line in there. Interestingly enough, MangoBread coming for siege onagers and Parthian tactics. Well, he's the Mongol, so that's of course expected of him. But well, the combination of Conquistadors with all of this elite battle elephants, is it gonna be working? Because I'm kinda slightly getting worried that it might not work, because the Conquistadors are gonna get absolutely shredded by all of the Chukanus and MangoBread, but at the same time the Conquistadors might be quite a solid counterplay to the potential halberdiers coming against all of those elephants. So let's see if that's really gonna be viable or not, as at this point Chukanus from Lottchen are finding their way all the way across the map. This is gonna be one hell of a choke point though. This is a very solid choke point. Just waiting for some onage right there, but that doesn't seem to be anywhere close by. Well, maybe it's gonna be made just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it by Cambridge, but so far it's not. But yeah, right now it's gonna be turning into a basic graveyard, as they are gonna be also slaughtered by the MangoBread, and well, with a few hits by the Paladins as well, it's gonna be it for the whole army. A whole army of Lottchen, and he will have to replace everything on the left side, and apparently he's recognizing that he might be needing a bit more than just the units, and that's gonna be of course a few more bombard towers coming forward, as he's gonna be making a combination of halberdiers with Chukanus against of course all of those battle elephants. Getting ready right now from VladVonCarstein. And what kind of assistance is he gonna be receiving? That's the question, as oh well, surprise! Well, would you look at that? You can see that Rocket Beans TV have actually learned from the last game that trade is gonna be supremely important, and they have been able to sneak through. Yep, through exactly the onages. You don't even need siege here, I think, all that much. But he did get through, and of course that is making things quite a lot easier. Getting with the MangoBread all into the middle of the trade route, that's quite deadly for them, as the opponents don't really have anything like that yet, and the wall-in seems to be finally finished for Rocket Beans TV. So they in the end did wall up exactly as they should have, and it's working for them quite well indeed, as of course the elephants are coming forward also in there on the right side, as Moneimon and Carstein are sending a few more resources to Poxo to help him get back on his feet, which is of course definitely needed, as his economy heavily suffered. You can see he dropped up to about 65, so he dropped like 50 villages, 40-50 villages in this assault. That's really pretty brutal for him, and that is definitely the reason why he's receiving all the assistance from the opponents, or rather from the allies against the opponents, of course. rocketry for him. That's gonna be making those guys quite a lot stronger. That's a really huge bonus for them for the attack, of course. But otherwise, this combination of Mangudais, Chukonus and a few paladins mixed in there seems to be quite strong enough against all of those battle elephants combined with the conquistadors and even a few siege rams being clicked in there. So yeah, I would be definitely... I'm kinda right now thinking that if maybe the paladins aren't going to be like the most deciding factor in the game, because if the opponents, if rocket beans are not gonna be switching into them and not gonna be preparing for them in stone pieces base, then they might not be able to react to that. I really think that the conquistadors are wrong choice here. I really think that it's a straight wrong choice against all of those Mangudais and the Chukonus, and even though it's gonna be kinda getting difficult to of course micro if the elephants are gonna be in the front, still think that it could be done. And I really think that Stonebreeze should be switching into, well, honestly, that's not a bad idea. It should be either switching into paladins as soon as possible, or at least go for the siege onagers and hoping that he can actually get some really good shots against all of those archers, because otherwise archers in the late game, especially those like these, are always quite powerful indeed. As you're gonna be switching to the left side, where a lot of yellow is apparently eating into the enemy base quite significantly. You can see that those halberdiers are doing a pretty good job, as blue is though moving forward, of course, with his siege workshop as well, so that he can support all the units in here as a Spanish, so probably with a few onagers of his own I would be expecting, or, well, rather maybe it seems like siege rams. Siege rams are gonna be the units that he's gonna be supporting there and supporting with. As you can see at MangoBread, dropping a few castles right next to the trade route, so this is exactly the opportunity that right now RBTV are actually looking for and trying to use, so that is quite important and very interesting if they're gonna be able to succeed with that, or if on the other side there's gonna be some kind of strong push coming forward from ByTs, actually with all of those archers coming forward, and if they're gonna be able to avoid some good shots. Oh well, friendly fire. Careful, Cambridge. That was almost very dangerous. Very dangerous indeed. As well, onagers are of course still, or rather finally gonna be present also from Stonebreeze. And let's see if he's gonna be getting some good shots in there. Though it's not exactly presupposed, but of course right now the battlefield is moving forward. Ever forward into the red base. And are we gonna be seeing some potential snipes attempted? So far I don't think so. So far I don't exactly think so, as all of those conquistadors with the Chukonus and with the battle elephants are just waiting for some better moment, which is also the reason why those guys are advancing forward. And well, this is just a destruction of the siege. This hurts. This hurts so bad right about now, Stonebreeze, because he's gonna be losing all the siege, which is basically one of the crucial things to push forward. Basically soak up a lot of damage from all of those archers and also potentially move forward and destroy all of the buildings. Well, that was just a bit sloppy by RBTV, and of course quite nice opportunity taken by Moneimon, and it seems that he might be actually coming victorious out of it because of that, with his teammates of course, because right now they're gonna be completely slaughtering all the elephants. You can see they're just leveling them, and you can see that even the conquistadors, where are they exactly? They had to have switched somewhere. I don't exactly see where. I don't see them on the minimap too much. Well, a lot of idle villagers right there. Let's switch to the left side, where you can see that yet again, the Rocket Beans TV have been able to break through, and they are in the trade route again. So this basically, I'm really thinking that this should have been quite a strong attack plan from VladVonCarstein with his teammates quite a bit before, but unfortunately they are forced into heavy defensive. Some good onager shots coming forward right into the elephants' heads in there and into their backs as well, and it seems to be working very well indeed. But Cambridge is basically now spamming, trying to block everything here, and of course with the help of the castles that should be a whole lot easier to defend that trade route. But yet again, they are still able to get through right now. You can see RBTV, and they are doing this quite well, and of course blocking all the attempts potential at attack from Birasita Pass, which is just absolutely not going to happen as well. This is quite solid defense, and they are gonna be defending for maybe the rest of the game here, especially with the bombard cannons, or rather bombard cannons in the towers pretty much coming forward, and of course supplying combined strong extra attack for them, especially against all of that cavalry that is of course being represented by the elephants there. In the meantime, let's switch to the right battlefield yet again, where the Chukonus are still alive, and oh, that could be a very good shot if maybe there was some red onager, but the red onager is still not there. But well, you can see that the Spanish player is learning. He is learning, and he's gonna be dropping some bombard towers right there, and it's definitely of course the correct idea, as that is exactly needed to somehow, oh well, are they actually gonna be finishing? Yes, they are. At the very end, It's gonna be supplying all the extra attack that they need to basically make up for the deficit that they are so far having. And of course, yellow is gonna be helping as well, exactly with those same towers. Because they are kinda recognizing that this right battlefield is not going well for them. You can see Poxo even switching into some halberdiers, not getting all the upgrades yet, but he's coming for the siege rams, iron casting and plate mail armor. As Stone Police is finally recognizing that those conquistadors are a bad choice. He already called it by quite a bit before, and he is switching to the paladins, so let's see if it's gonna be still in time for himself and for his team overall. As Poxo is slowly getting back into the economy, he has been able to rebuild about 20 villages from the last time that we looked at him. But he is still missing quite plenty in that, so that he is quite a solid counter to his opponents. In the meantime, of course, he's gonna be having a look on the battle yet again, which seems to be really going very well indeed. Some trebuchets coming forward to get rid of the bombard towers, as those conquistadors should be coming forward also to get rid of all of those halberdiers, as the paladins are there, and that's gonna be quite a solid power spike. And let's see if they're gonna be able to use it properly, as the hole in the wall has been plugged in there. But oh well, there we go. But it would actually, this doesn't have to be anything bad. This doesn't have to be bad, because this is right now quite a solid trap. This is actually a trap for all of those paladins, because right now we can see that Poxo is recognizing that as well. There is no way through that way. So right now, if he has closed the gate, then there is absolutely no escape from those guys, and they're just gonna be dying to all the arrows. To all the arrows from the Mangorais and from the Chiconos. This is rare. This is a rare sight, actually luring them into the trap in there. And that's a lot of opportunity and a lot of resources, of course, wasted for that player. Well, nicely done. Nicely done indeed, as this battlefield is right now at a bit of a stalemate, it seems like. But at least a bit of a victory for RBTV is that ByTs are actually not pushing forward. Koinish is coming forward with blast furnace and architecture for Poxo in there. As on the left battlefield, it seems that we are still pretty much where we left. With bombard towers coming forward also, and that is of course gonna be resulting into a bit better defense for Birasitapas, so they should be having a bit easier time defending against all of those units coming forward from their opponents. Well, a lot of siege coming forward, but without all that much support in the units, to be honest. So yeah, yellow is producing some halberdiers, but I'm kinda thinking that this is looking like maybe a potential breach coming forward. And finally coming for ByTs, and they might be actually able to get through here, because they have been very good combination. You can see that Moneimon is basically on both sides, and so is Cambridge. So Mangorais and Paladins are on both battlefields, and that is a combination of units that is really always scary. And if you add the battle elephants into that mix, then there is, well, not much really that the opponent can do, unless he's having some significant amount of course, help on the numbers. But so far it doesn't really seem to be happening all that much. So, crop rotation coming forward for VladVonCarstein, so that he can supply even more elephants into the battlefield in there. Treadmill crane, iron casting, well, just basically finishing with some upgrades in there, as we are gonna be switching into the right battlefield yet again, where we haven't been moving too much, but it seems that right now the switch into Paladins is exactly what was needed, exactly what the doctor ordered for Rocket Beans TV, and they are right now moving slightly ahead, but nothing really all that convincing yet, because of course you could have seen on the left side that something similar could have been said for Birasitapas, as they were also moving slightly ahead against the opponents from Rocket Beans TV in there. So yeah, we're just gonna be waiting for a few more bombard towers to be spread absolutely everywhere, as right now the Conquistadors are gonna be slowly replaced by all the Paladins from the red player, and I'm just gonna be curious if maybe... I can see this is wide open. This is just basically wide open. You just basically need to delete one row of walls, stone wall, not even fortified wall. So that's like basically 2 petards coming forward, and you are in the middle of the enemy base and in the middle of the enemy trade. This is really pretty dangerous for ByTs, and if they're not gonna be careful, maybe RBTV are gonna be figuring it out. Well, so far they haven't, so far they are kinda getting lucky. The team on the left part of the battlefield, and well, of course, right now we are exactly seeing what we have seen a bit before, that ByT are pushing the opponents slightly off the position, but with the MangoBread coming back yet again into the field battlefield, all of the reinforcements are gonna be needed here as well. But this is kind of interesting build up in the middle, as you can see that right now Moneimon is even pushing down on the walls. So where are the kings though? They shouldn't be here, hopefully. But the danger of actually breaking through the walls is basically some kind of squad of MangoBread coming forward and getting all the way into the trade, because right now this is exactly possible. And even with the bombard towers being placed there, it's nothing that will stop them all that much. So yeah, this is potentially a huge danger coming, of course, for RBTV, and they definitely should be quite aware, as there are a lot of... Oh, that's a lot of idle army here. That's actually a ton of idle army here all around. You can see from all the players from RBTV, they definitely should be paying a bit more attention to the idle military units in there, as they could be missing in the battles in here. As of course they're also trying to push forward, as Lottchen is having a few bombard towers in the middle, and he's still continuing with that. So you can see that even though Cambridge is trying to place a few more siege workshop to maybe even deal with those bombard towers, but those bombard towers are moving forward, and well, with a few hussars right behind them, it might be actually quite a bit of an issue coming forward for ByT. Now we're gonna be switching into Poxo's base yet again, where the battle is still raging, and are we gonna be seeing some good shot? He is looking for that. He is so looking for... That's gonna be a good shot. Oh, well. Yeah, he got one there, but unfortunately for him, those villagers, or rather, those villagers are not really villagers, those archers just were able to survive. Only a few of them died. But well, if of course you're gonna be looking at some more of those, they might be getting some good shots, because of course it's gonna be getting increasingly difficult for Poxo to somehow have like a spread formation or anything along those lines, as he does have the numbers and the space is kinda limited here, so it cannot really spread too much. But yeah, it seems like that right now RBTV are moving forward on the right flank, whereas on the left flank, are they losing? They kinda are being pushed. You can see even a few buildings lost for VladVonCarstein, but much more important, they are right now pushing on all of those towers and all of those castles, so it seems that a bit more actually attention to the left side is going a long way for Beras Itapas to securing that trade route, and of course coming forward onto their opponents and trying to push them back from right now this very dangerous position. Okay, in the meantime though, it also means that on the right they are kinda having a bit of a problem, though nothing all that major yet. They are able to hold quite alright, you can see. Not really anything all that major, as the team score, you could be thinking that 2000 team score, which is like 10% at this point, is huge. It's not really that much, but it's gonna be all about if maybe there could be some kind of good shots by the onagers that would be just instantly destroying all of those Chukonos, but also maybe just destroying the castles, basically allowing those elephants to be coming forward with some better attack and better chances in here. As of course the paladins right behind them fully upgraded, as everything is at this point gonna be fully upgraded, are gonna be just a good support for all of that. With of course the bombard towers, the trebuchets coming forward, getting rid of bombard towers from the opponents and getting rid of the castles in there also. So yeah, the situation is getting really kind of dire right now for Beras Itapas here. So of course they definitely need to be quite careful about what's going to happen next, because all the assistance could be really important here, as you're also looking at yellow and of course getting forward here with stone piece with some military buildings, but of course you can see that the opponents, Cambridge, is trying to get rid of those buildings as well. Well, blue is having plenty of idle paladins here. Unfortunately, they have gotten rid of pretty much all the buildings that were important here in the middle, but they haven't still gotten rid of the very important castles. And with the speedy onagers, they might be getting some good shots still in the end into the Mango dice, maybe even into the elite there. Let's see about that. But with the paladins coming forward, this is probably gonna be resulting into more retreat coming there, as we are also looking at quite an interesting attempt right now by Cambridge to go into the middle of the trade route, and he is having a bit of a backing, of course, of all the onagers, and they are cutting through the woods. Very nicely done. Can see he went all the way through there, and this is basically exactly opposite of what we were talking about a bit before. This is gonna be a horrifying massacre. Just close your children somewhere in the closet or something. Don't let them watch. This is gonna be hurtful. This is gonna be really painful, because the castle is not gonna be finished in time, and those Mango dice are in horrifying numbers for what's going to happen here. And what kind of defense is there? Like, not really all that much. You can see a few elephants at least are gonna be coming forward. You can see the Mango dice are gonna be countered by the conquistadors as well, but still the damage is gonna be done already. And if he can actually get in with even a few more, this is gonna be something that RBTV are gonna be hard pressed to actually come back from, because their own trade route is, ByT's trade route is kinda safe, even though we expected it might be exactly the other way around. If the opponents notice, they could be just easily getting right through this wall, and they will be exactly in the middle. Basically the same what happened here, but in the other guard. And yeah, well, Mango dice are coming somewhere, trying to escape from all of those conquistadors, but what it also does, besides just killing the trade, is basically luring a huge army, really basically more army that is needed to come after the Mangorais. And they're of course gonna be missing in the battlefield, which is probably gonna be allowing Poxo with his teammate Moneimon right now to maybe even push a bit back and at least definitely not allow the opponent to destroy them. So yeah, that's exactly right now happening and seems to be working rather well indeed. Gonna be switching to the left side where right now ByTs are pushing forward, ever forward, still haven't gotten rid of the castles, but they are continually working on that, you can see. Really just trying to counter that exactly, as of course the elephants got completely shredded by the halberdiers. But question is, where is the reinforcement? Or rather, where are the reinforcements? So far not really all that many of them coming forward. You can see only the elephants are gonna be here. We are just waiting for a few more paladins to be coming here, as they are right now coming chiefly into the middle, where RBTV were hoping that maybe they could actually get a few more extra like attempts and lines of attack into the opponents. They're gonna be right now apparently losing them, even though this is exactly what you should be doing on a Regicide fortress. You just spam in buildings into the middle so that you have as many options as possible how to attack your opponents. But well, we're gonna be looking back onto the right battlefield, where yet again we are not really moving anywhere all that much, which is of course the victory pretty much for ByT, as if they are not moving back from this position, from this hole in the wall, then they could be considering themselves quite successful, as the Mongols are still running around. You can see another squad getting through and just basically again shredding the trade cards here. And well, the Conquistadors with the Paladins still coming after them. But yeah, well, there is there like another way through? There is. There is actually another way through, and that's because of the villagers cutting too diligently here. So that's actually quite dangerous, and something that Rocket Beans TV haven't noticed yet. Oh well, not great at all, and they are maybe gonna be paying for that, because of course those Mangorais probably gonna be followed up by a few more, and they definitely do have the opportunity to go anywhere they want, as the hole is in the wall. Okay, so they're gonna be killing a few more here, as they're gonna be waiting for Conquistadors to catch up with them, as the Conquistadors are right now coming back, which is why. Oh, they are here, okay. Yeah, you can see that basically Cambridge is as annoying as he can humanly be. He's just getting to chase after him hugely more army than is necessary at this point, and that's of course gonna be quite crucial for the gameplay overall, as it will allow maybe even right now push back. You can see the rest of the Mangorais with of course Poxo are pushing forward in here, trying to basically claim some ground with some bombard towers and everything, and maybe push back. So that's exactly all still coming from the trade raiding, because RBTV are just heavily overreacting to that with all the units. And even though of course defending your trade route is crucial, you just don't need to send everything there. You don't really need to do that. You just need to send the correct type of unit and try to catch up with them. Yeah, well, the damage has been done. You can see even all of those Mangorais coming back from the teal player, so they're gonna be of course missing somewhere in the battle here. Well, maybe not that much. They're having quite nice choke point, especially with the on edges still being present in there, but you can see that the battle elephants are pushing forward, destroying buildings one by one, quite inevitably coming here. So it seems that ByTs might be pushing through on the left side after all, and as soon as they get rid of all of the castles, gonna be switching into MangoBread. How much stone does he have? Absolutely none. Absolutely none whatsoever. So he will have to buy, and that's of course gonna be quite inefficient for him and for his team overall. So once he loses the castles, the problem is gonna be absolutely real. Absolutely real, but that has to happen first. That first has to happen, of course. Okay, in the middle, it seems that there's still gonna be a lot of extra work needed for ByTs to get rid of the middle build-up that has been actually quite nicely established by Rocket Beans TV. They are still fighting for it quite a bit, but Poxo is moving in there with a few more siege, so it seems like they're gonna be coming on it from unexpected direction, as they are feeling that this battlefield with all of those bombard towers is gonna be kinda fine, especially with the Mangorais being protecting everything from the trebuchets and other siege that might be potentially coming forward. So it's not a bad idea, and if it's gonna be free in the hands of basically Moneimon and even some other players that might have been helping here a bit before, then it's of course gonna be quite helpful indeed. Okay, are there still some Mangorais alive? Apparently not. But you can see all of those dead trade cards. It was definitely worth it quite a bit. And the hole in the wall is still there. Still there right now. Moneimon is gonna be discovering it, that he can still go through. And at the same time, maybe Stoneface is gonna be discovering it as well. And gonna be plugging it sooner. And it's gonna be too late for him and for his trade and for his team of course as well. Okay, so there we go. The Paladins are absolutely everywhere in the blue color, as the battlefield on the right has been more or less kinda abandoned. You can see there is maybe a bit of attack by some red player who was actually attempting to maybe break through. So of course this has to be replaced by Poxo, unless he wants to be basically following up in the footsteps of his opponent with the destruction of the trade route. He definitely doesn't want to do that, of course. As on the left battlefield, you can see finally some good switch from Cambridge, who sent all of those Rams to help with the castles. And right now, this might be really the problem for Mango that we talked about like 2 minutes ago. Without the castles, he's not gonna be able to spam the Mangorais as soon as he wants. And of course, all of those halberdiers are gonna be helping, but Mangorais, that is the power unit. That is of course quite important in the battlefield on the left side. And oh, careful. Careful, somebody has also right now cut through, and there is a hole in the middle of, so yeah, it's not like it matters. They're basically inviting all of this army forward, so ByT is not really being all that careful here, all that much, as we are gonna be looking into the middle, where Stone Piece with half conquistadors, half paladins is attempting to come forward, but with all the paladins from Moneimon and of course Mangorais from Cambridge, it doesn't seem all that viable, and they are gonna be of course falling back as soon as possible. Yep, that exactly seems to be right now happening, with even more bombard towers coming forward as we are reaching basically the game time of the last game as well. This is exactly quite a nice advertisement for all the RTS League, as this was not really expected. It's gonna be that close, but it definitely is, as RBTV are playing really well indeed. Really well indeed here. Okay, let's see how it's gonna be going at this point. Yeah, this is a solid straight route right there. For the opponent, it's gonna be pretty much the same. Yeah, you can see. You know, all of those buildings, they have actually deleted a lot of buildings, a lot of farms. You can see that ByT did do a bit of a landscaping. Deleted farms and villages that were in the way. So they actually did take care of it. But they could be maybe also deleting a few of those, like maybe the mill, maybe a few of those houses and replacing them somewhere else, because right now they are definitely in the way of some efficiency, as we are gonna be switching into the main battlefield right now on the left side, where plenty of elephants are present, trying to get into all of those siege ranges and of course all of those Mangorais. But with the halberdiers coming against them, that's gonna be a huge slaughter of all of those areas. You can see how efficient they are. This combination of units from MangoBread, from the Mangorai maker, and it's really looking quite well for him and quite promising, as we are looking at Sommos trying to help quite fully on the left side with elephants as well, as that is definitely not a bad idea. Elephants against elephants supported by Mangorais, that is quite a good combination indeed. And we also right now switching onto the right side, where yet again Rocket Beans TV are advancing forward, and they are, well, having quite a solid army here, quite a solid composition, where the conquistadors will be liking a bit more paladins here, of course, yet again against all of those archers, and especially with the halberdiers not being in any kind of huge numbers. That would be really quite helpful, but it still doesn't seem like that RBTV should be really pushing through in any kind of easy time and easy way. It's probably gonna be about some kind of side build or side play or something like that. As you can see, there is a bit of an attempt yet again from Cambridge to be doing exactly the same, but so is Stone Piece. Stone Piece is basically scouting there and hoping that maybe he could be actually getting somewhere, and yeah, maybe even basically surprising the opponents, as they did surprise them just a bit before. And it's gonna be a bit of a hits into the head from the on edges right here, of course, as otherwise. Let's move back to the left battlefield, where we are looking at the full-on battle, where even though right now Sommos has finished with plenty of stables, is he like gonna be in time? That's a huge question, because maybe he was just a bit too late, as all of those elites, of course, from the opponent are pushing forward with the paladins and support of all the Mangorais. That's really well done, and those Mangorais might just not be strong enough, but I would be definitely welcoming a few trebuchets coming forward, so that he can get rid of the castles a bit faster and a bit easier, as another one is just now finished for MangoBread, so he's right now up to 4 again. Yeah, he was having 5 a bit before, but right now he's having 4, but he doesn't have any more, I think. Yeah, he doesn't have any more, so that's potentially quite a big danger for him, as there is a bit of a battle also in the middle, where Moneimon is trying to get through, trying to get into the elephants in here, and, well, maybe even trying to help on the right battlefield altogether, where halberdiers with Chukonus are still being made by Poxo. And we are exactly in the late game, where the villages are not really needed all that much. You can see that basically everybody is popped from ByT, but they're having 70, 77, 49 and 48 villages, and yeah, they just don't really need them, because the battles are really so huge, and especially the economies, especially with the trade cards, they are already present, and of course right now we are in proper late game, proper late game as it should be. You can see right now the population limit is actually very important. As you can see that RBTV are not really popped, only Lottchen is popped. Whereas Sommos, MangoBread and Stoneplease are hovering about 175, so they are basically missing 25 population limit, which is definitely a signal. Definitely a signal that they are having not a good moment right about now, as ByT are pushing forward right now in here into them. And even though they are not having too many villages either, so the armies are gonna be also not bad, yet still probably not gonna be strong enough. So right now finally the trebuchet coming forward, getting rid of the castle, and of course getting rid of the bombard towers as well. This is maybe gonna be quite an important push in the whole battle here. As on the left battlefield we are looking at the elephants still being quite more prevalent for VladVonCarstein, and Sommos doesn't seem to be producing enough, and he probably should be rebuilding somewhere else, but he maybe doesn't have enough villages as Yellow is moving forward with a few more bombard towers to get rid of the elephants. But what is also kind of important and interesting is that ByTs are definitely catching up on the team score. They're right now only about 1500 behind their opponents, whereas they were about 2000 a few minutes ago, so they are going up. And RBTV are at this point kind of falling back a bit, quite a bit, as at this point we are having a bit of a pause apparently. You can see that they are knocking on the door of MangoBread, and MangoBread is having his hands full, definitely full with everything, so that he at least can give some kind of opportunity to his opponents, or rather to his allies rather, to maybe defend on the right side, as the pause is gonna be maybe ending, not sure. Oh, well... A siege tower has been sighted. Is that some kind of misclick or just for the fun of it? Well, not sure. But of course, right now that's gonna be coming forward. Let's see if it's gonna be any kind of use or not. Maybe just basically some kind of tank against potential conquistadors. Maybe. But of course, right now on this battlefield, we are moving forward as far as ByTs go. But well, of course, RBTV, sorry, are doing pretty good job in the defense, as well as the elephants are definitely exactly quite a strong unit for that. You know, the trebuchet is a big problem as he's getting rid of the castle. Well, sooner rather than later. Doesn't seem like that this trebuchet should be killed in time. As on the right, we are also looking at, well, a bit of a maybe extra attempt. You can see this is still wide open. There is still a way through. There's still a way through yet again to get exactly into this position right now for Mongols. So I'm hoping that actually Poxo is gonna be noticing, sorry, with this halberdiers that are kinda on free fire there. But with all the elephants right now and the attack, of course, even with the castle down, it seems that ByTs are yet again gonna be under heavy defense here and gonna be hoping that they are not gonna be steamrolled. As on the left side though, they are definitely pushing forward very well, and it's really big problem for MangoBread, who has to somehow defend as much as he can, as at this point, well, they are even getting through the walls, but they could be definitely using more than those siege managers. They could be using a few trebuchets to help them get rid of the castles more faster and sooner, of course, and I would be definitely liking to basically close the gap here, as this is very dangerous and potentially could be actually setting them up for a disaster if their opponents noticed and were actually able to somehow abuse that. In the meantime though, we have seen a few more idle units in there that definitely could be useful in the battlefield. In there. So right now those Mongols are everything that stands before, or rather between RBTV and disaster, I have to say. Because the assistance that is received from Lottchen is not exactly huge. You can see sending the halberdiers there as soon as possible and in as big numbers as he can, but to be honest, they are not exactly that strong. Not that incredibly strong, especially against gold units like the halberdiers, like the elephants and of course the paladins. So yeah, well, let's see how it's gonna be working for them, because so far it's definitely not. And in the middle there is not much of a push going on by anybody, just a bit of a fun apparently by Moneimon with one siege ram, but otherwise they are maybe also gonna be getting somewhere into the middle, as there is a bit of a actually flaring by yellow for some reason. Oh yeah, he was actually asking to delete a few buildings. Yeah, they were in the way for a bit more efficiency. That's a very good thought by him. Very good thought indeed, as we are gonna be looking at also, oh well, a bit of a nice sneak coming forward exactly from Poxo. We have seen that a bit before actually being prepared, but right now he is definitely engaging in that. Gonna be housing his opponent quite probably, also deleting a few stables, so that he cannot produce all that fast. And yeah, well, right now we have finally noticed, but that's already maybe a bit too late. He has to recall units from the main battlefield in there. You can see he's recalling a lot of them, like basically all of them. That's a bit of an overreaction, well, a lot of an overreaction actually. Quite a bit of a mistake, I think, at this point, which is definitely gonna be allowing Cambridge with Moneimon to come forward and at least not lose, that's definitely. But he's already moving towards, of course, the hole in the wall with the mango dice, so that he can abuse, of course, the trade in there as soon as possible. Very well done, as even though the score in the team is yet again enlarging in the distance between the teams, it definitely is not really all that reflected on the battlefield. Maybe basically the opposite. As one castle has been killed, finally the trebuchets are there, and they're gonna be destroying all those important castles for MangoBread, who will be pretty much out of them, because he doesn't have any more stone. And of course, that is gonna be quite it for him. He does have 8,000 gold, so he can buy the stone still. But question is if he actually wants, because it's gonna be humongously expensive. And yeah, well, he does want to. He really does want to, because as a mango die maker, without castles, he's completely dead and useless in the game. He would have to switch into like hussars, something like that, which is not exactly what he wants to use against the gold units of his opponent. So just expecting that he's gonna be buying a lot of stone. But yeah, well, in the meantime, good shots. Good shots. Oh well, complete disaster right there. Complete and utter disaster for MangoBread, who is losing basically a whole squad of mango dice to those two onagers. He didn't notice that. And that is like a third of his army right there, without any kind of good chance to actually replace them fast enough. Yeah, well, that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. You can see even a few more bombard towers coming forward, as the elephants are still in good numbers. Right now gonna be even replaced, or rather countered by Sommos' elephants as well. And we're gonna be looking into the right side, where Poxo with the blue player, with Moneimon and basically their combination of army, are trying to push forward, trying to get rid of a few elephants in there. And of course, with the mango dice coming forward as well, they seem to be really heading into like the middle of the map, trying to push into like this position somewhere, and maybe just basically trying to relinquish, or rather relieve the pressure on the right battlefield, and also give them a bit of an opportunity how to push forward with the mango dice into the trade route. Yeah, exactly, you can see that he has seen that. Yep, the way is still free. And you can also see that Stonepiece is well aware, sending all the conquistadors exactly into place there so that he can counter them. But at this point, it's gonna be exactly the same disaster for Rocket Bean's TV play as it was last time. And that will be, of course, resulting into something that he doesn't really want to do all that much. And oh well, they are even destroying the markets. There is some sneaky siege rams. That's very nicely played. And right now, of course, those mango dice are gonna be slaughtered because they have stopped just here. They're gonna be killing in the process at least a few trade cards in there. Otherwise, it's gonna be pretty much it. And they're gonna be dying for their country. But still, it was well worth it. Well worth it indeed, as it is, of course, gonna be relieving the pressure and overall allowing Poxo with the rest of the purple army from Cambridge come forward, and the paladins are gonna be helpful here as well. So very well done by ByTs, and to be honest, if you look at this, they are actually getting an edge, slowly but surely. And right now you can see, yeah, the castle has been killed, and of course, oh, did somebody drop? That would be unfortunate. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're gonna be seeing this in full, as Stonepiece is even coming for banking in that to basically improve his trading and everything. As right now, those two castles are just absolutely not gonna be enough. And is he rebuilding somewhere? I don't exactly think so. No, he's not. He's absolutely not. So once those castles are gonna be down, this is gonna be pretty much it for MangoBread, and he's not gonna be able to produce anything. And then that's gonna be like heated knife through a very hot butter. So you can imagine how fast this is gonna go. I'm expecting for ByTs to go basically through his base and right into the middle of the trade route that is gonna be here. And we probably won't be even seeing any kind of snipes of kings, which are probably hidden somewhere in here in the tower. I just switch into Lottchen. Yeah, there is at least the yellow king. There is gonna be a green king, or rather teal king. That's exactly from the teal player on the left side. But yeah, well, he right now is under pretty heavy pressure, of course, still, with the trebuchet being the biggest problem. And right now even the siege rams coming forward are gonna be destroyed fast enough, because there are still plenty of mango dice. But once those mango dice are gonna be receiving some punishment from a few onagers, if they are gonna be still here. You know, you can see a few are coming forward. Then there's not gonna be any kind of replacement coming anytime soon, and that is gonna be exactly the opportunity and the opening that ByT are gonna be waiting for. Plenty of trebuchets coming forward, so kind of goodbye castle. Goodbye castle pretty much, as we're gonna be moving to the right, where there is, oh well, hole. Well, this could be a disaster. Cambridge is basically cutting just a bit too much. This is right now all the way to the trade. All the way to the trade. This is horrible. This is right now a horrible mistake. If actually this is gonna be spotted by Stone, please. So is it gonna be? Stone, please. Switch. Tug of War. Oh well. Last second save. Last second save. Right now Poxo has to be screaming. I just have to imagine that he has to be... Oh, come on. He just finished with that. He has to be screaming Poxo at his teammate. Screw you with your villagers. Just send them somewhere else. This is right now a hole just being made there. Let's see if Poxo is gonna be noticing that, because this is potentially a huge problem for them. A huge problem indeed. As right now we are looking into the middle, where the advance through the middle has been at least slowed down a bit in there. Not really stopped too much, but slow down. That's good enough at this point. As Mongols are yet again through. We have seen a lot of holes in the walls in there, of course. For example, in there, it has been even broken through, like literally through the walls. And of course this is gonna be, oh, this is gonna be painful, because the arm is very far away, not anywhere close. So yep, all of these trade cards are gonna be falling without basically receiving or rather sending any more gold home. Oh well, that's gonna be painful. And it's gonna be incredibly painful. But of course right now the same, has it been really noticed yet? It is yet to be properly noticed. He hasn't noticed yet that there is a way through. This is so unfortunate for Stonepiece, but I'm thinking he doesn't... Oh, I was gonna say he had the idea anyway, but it seems like that maybe not. Oh, does he? Yeah, I think he does have the idea. He doesn't even need to break through. He doesn't need to break through. Let's see, this is gonna be basically some YOLO. Some huge YOLO from RBTV I'm expecting into the trade. Hoping that it's gonna be working. But right now we're gonna be also switching into the left battlefield yet again. Where MangoBread is gonna be in a horrible situation, as he has lost the castle, as we have seen. Gonna be losing the second one in the position, which is gonna be pretty much the last one for him. And in that position, with all of those elephants, even though he's receiving still assistance from Sommos, it's just not probably gonna be enough, as we has just crossed 1.5 hours of gameplay right now in this game number 2. So 2 marathon games. 2 marathon games indeed, as we have another pause. Hopefully it's not any kind of job, as it would definitely be good to see the full resolution of this game without a restore if possible. So there we go. Yeah, the graveyard of all the trade cards for RBTV. So just gonna be quickly checking what's going on. What's going on in the game room, if maybe something is up, but it seems that somebody did drop. Yeah, somebody did drop, it seems. And it's looking like VladVonCarstein that actually dropped. So we might be actually having to restore this game. We'll see how it's gonna be looking with the Reds. But this is one hell of a game. One hell of a game. As was the first one, this was even better. It was even better. This is just advertisement for RTST, but there we go. They're gonna be continuing with the slaughter. Right now they're gonna be, of course, killed there as well. As a few more are gonna be continuing forward. As MangoBread is buying a lot of stone because he needs to replace the castle. But he had to have done like 10 minutes ago maybe. He should have done that like 10 minutes ago. Right now it's gonna be way too late. Gonna be attempting to rebuild the castle. Well, this is a siege workshop, but castle somewhere close by, or maybe already going into some full-on defensive. You can see a few more Chukonos being made. So even yellow player is switching into some other type of unit. As of course the attack is still continuing. And Trebuchet last standing in there, trying to get rid of the castle, which is gonna be dying about now or at the next shot. Oh. Okay, right now, basically right now what should be happening is their players, ByT, should be recognizing that this castle is almost dead. Literally 100 hit points right now. Literally quite the time before, as VladVonCarstein has right now disconnected. So we are gonna be basically ending with the game, I'm thinking, and restoring, waiting for the restore. Yep, stream is ended and we're gonna be restoring the game. Well. So let's in the meantime check into the achievements. We're gonna be looking at them quite a lot in a few minutes, I'm thinking, as the game seems to be heading into the very last throws. You can see 1200 units lost. 1,000 units killed for MangoBread. That's such a slaughter, such a slaughter. So many resources sent, but it's not really any kind of slinging. That's just basically resources sent to help the allies. So yeah, well, really going quite alright. Okay, so let's just basically go out and wait for the restore. There we are, exactly where we left. Let's switch off the fog of war so that we see everything that we should be seeing. And yep, this is exactly what we expected. That red is gonna be coming forward, but he already right now is not gonna be coming back, as purple did finish finally with the wall in. But paladins are gonna be coming there. But it has to be said that they are not really as strong as potentially Mangurais are, because they have to catch up with the trade cards, and the trade cards are really fast indeed. So always it's gonna be better to be having Mangurais in the enemy trade than paladins. And even though this is of course quite a nice attempt, those Mangurais coming after them are in pretty solid numbers, so yet again it's gonna be exactly the advantage for RBTV as it was for ByT before, when surplus of an army was catching after, of course, the enemy raiders. It's also gonna be interesting to see what's happening on the left side, where we have seen the castles being taken down. Quite a lot of them, but right now we can see even repairs still going on. That's a bit of a mistake in there, of course, on ByT's part, because this castle was literally about 30 hit points from being destroyed, but they just haven't noticed. They haven't noticed, so they haven't basically finished up with even just elephants or literally anything. Even like Mangurais could have killed it, or anything they had there. So right now it's up to 1500 hit points yet again, so it's gonna be a problem for them to take it down. They do have maybe a bit of a chance with some siege edges, but of course they could be using a few more trebuchets to help them hold a lot more in there. And maybe, for example, the siege rams. That's not a bad idea either. Not yeah, well, they're gonna be just hitting a few times before they are destroyed by the orange elephants coming forward in there. As we must also look on the right side, where Poxo is advancing forward yet again into a red base and trying to destroy what he can. As of course he does have the wide open door, as the walls haven't been really rebuilt by stone please, and he does have plenty of units himself freely available to actually push with him into the middle in there, as he is having Chukonus with siege rams and everything that you could be expecting in such a late game situation, pushing forward. And it's gonna be taking all the effort imaginable from Stone please to defend against that, as he right now does have plenty of paladins with conquistadors as well, but his economy is getting slowly killed. Even though he has of course deleted plenty of villages on purpose, he is down to 37. If he actually drops way more, it might be getting, well, a bit more than he can handle. Let's basically switch into his point of view. Right now he's still having plenty of food, and especially the gold, but the food could be a problem if he loses all the farmers, which he kind of pretty much is right now, losing most of them. That could be his downfall. So if he had to switch to buy all the food, the prices would be just skyrocketing, and the gold from the trade cards would not just be enough at that point. So yeah, this is very nice push by Poxo on multiple moments actually, with a bit of help from Cambridge as well, who has finished with dealing with all of the paladins in the trade route in there at the back, and he is right now probably gonna be looking to yet again breach the defenses, and yet again position himself somewhere into the middle for a bit of a carnage. A bit of a solid carnage right there. Gonna be looking on the left side, where it seems like that actually, curiously enough, the attack on MangoBread has been stopped. That's really unexpected. Really unexpected indeed, especially considering that right about now the teal player is having literally one castle, so he cannot produce any kind of Mangurais. But here we go, heavy scorpions. Good idea. Heavy scorpions in solid numbers are complete elephant killers. So let's see if he's gonna be actually able to produce enough of them, as then we will be needing, or rather Berasi Tapas are gonna be needing plenty more siege onagers, or maybe even some bombard cannons to actually get rid of them. We'll be expecting that he will be continuing with the siege onagers, as they're gonna be... Oh, that was a nice hit. It was a nice hit in there. Just at the last moment MangoBread was able to retreat with most of his units, as of course we're gonna be also switching onto the right yet again, when he's having most of the Mangurais, the purple player, and hoping that he can still push through. But it seems like that yet again it's right now turning a bit back, and RBTV are getting a bit more on the horse here, literally on the horsey, as all of those paladins, with of course all the support of the elephants, they are pushing back, as the paladins are really a force to be reckoned with, even more maybe than the elephants sometimes, as they are having huge armor and they are really very fast. And of course the quickness, being able to get where they want and where they need on the battlefield, that's always very powerful trait to be having, as the Mangurais are yet again making their way into the back of the enemy bases, with right now, well, even some halberdiers from Poxo following, but much more importantly, even of course with the siege rams, so they are gonna be destroying the castles as soon as possible, and even the conquistadors being made out of the castles are probably not gonna be enough Oh well, and this duo is right now downright scary. Downright scary, because that's gonna be helping defend against potential horses. And maybe even the conquistadors, but Poxo would have to be a whole lot more careful, because he's right now losing plenty of them on the trade route. And oh, there's a hole there! Can you see the conquistador coming there? That's potentially a horrible disaster, because right now, what Cambridge could be doing, he can just basically send everything into the hole. And there's no way he's gonna be killed. There's absolutely no way that he could be killed. He would be just slaughtering everything in there. Well, this is a huge opportunity. Let's see if Cambridge actually notices or not. Because there is definite possibility for him to be even more annoying. But right now, with the army finally arriving from the red player, it doesn't seem like that he's gonna be allowed to continue much longer. But one castle has been killed. This second is probably gonna be standing. I would be expecting that it's gonna be noticed. And it's gonna be noticed fast enough by the paladins, or maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong. Maybe even this castle is actually gonna be falling. Are there some reinforcements coming forward? No. No, they're not, because there's a wall now. But they could be coming through the middle somewhere. Well, maybe not even. Seems there's actually no extra way through. Yeah, there's actually no extra way through. So interestingly enough, right now they cannot get into the middle of the trade route, as a few Mangorais have been able to escape into the middle of the map. Gonna be killing a few more villages and a few more trade cards here, as well as it seems like that in the middle, Poxo with his teammate Cambridge with a huge amount of Mangorais are yet again gonna be pushing forward, and maybe this time it's gonna be for good, because yeah, Stone Please with Sommos are having pretty significant issues with somehow defending this part of the map. Especially right now, it seems like that Orange is also spending a lot of resources on helping on the left battlefield. Yeah, he definitely is. You can even see the switch into bombard cannons coming forward, exactly as we expected, and that is gonna be against all of those. Not only the Scorpions, but also the Onagers. So that is definitely correct choice and correct option to get rid of all of the extra siege that are coming forward, because otherwise those Scorpions would be really deadly to all of the elephants. That's a very solid unit indeed, but one shot here and you can see basically about 10 would be dead right there. Let's see if he's gonna be able to micro properly or not, because the range is at 7. Bombard cannon's range is at about a few more, I think. Yeah, about 12. A lot more. So if he actually notices all of them, he should be getting some good shots, but he seems to be interested much more in trying to destroy the castle, but he definitely shouldn't underestimate all of them. But right now, you can see Moneimon with all of those paladins coming forward exactly at the right time might be what he actually needs. But with the Scorpions being in such huge numbers, still the trample damage, more or less, the mass damage that the Scorpions are doing is always gonna be really problematic. You can see he has been able to kill most of the elephants coming on him, and well, with the Mangorais coming forward, these Scorpions, they are definitely paying off, and it's gonna be taking a bit of a switch in the head for ByTs to defend against that, because at this point it seems that they are actually gonna be under attack, because of course it seems that the units being made by them are not in good enough numbers. Let's switch to the right side where, oh well, this is a claim, or maybe some kind of king snipe. You can see that Stone Please actually did the treason to find all the kings, but right now there's nothing in the middle. Nowhere there could be really sniping all that much. They're gonna be hidden somewhere here, the kings. Still the trade wide open. I really don't like this. How sloppy they are playing ByTs on the trade. So far they haven't paid for it. But it seems like at this situation, as they are being pushed back, they really might, as it's gonna be taking just some Mangorais, of course, from the teal player to do exactly what purple is doing all the time. And once that happens, then well, kinda good luck. Good luck staying alive in the game, because so far RBTV have been able to somehow survive through multiple raids on their markets, even though they paid for it, by being pushed back. ByTs, the question is if they are gonna be ready for that, especially if they are being pushed back on the left side, and in the middle they are definitely not really pushing forward in any kind of main manner. And sending halberdiers against Scorpions, really? That's your unit of choice to send there? I have to really question that quite a bit. I really think that right now what needs to happen here are a lot of siege onagers and a lot of paladins. That's the only way that can actually deal with this, as those halberdiers are just gonna be completely killed in like one salve, unless he's gonna be doing something else. Let's see if he's gonna be like trying to lure the army basically into the middle of the map from the left side, because they definitely need to. They need to do something about this. As he's getting downright scary. You can see that Cambridge is absolutely not aware, or rather he's absolutely not caring about wall in there, and that is something that can easily lose you a game, as we are heading into almost 2 hours of game time already, and seems like that end is still nowhere in sight at this point, as there is also a bit of an attack on the right side. Yet again, Cambridge just making a hole in the wall in there. That's gonna be there in no time, but in the meantime, of course, Stonepiece is going to be coming for it even himself, but he should be sending more conquistadors into the Radiant rather than the Paladins, as the Paladins are really not such a great unit on trade card trading. They're really not that efficient. But anyway, you can see that everything is moving into the left side, maybe even like literally everything. This is almost looking like that we're gonna be heading into some kind of huge 4v4 battle. Like literally with all players at one spot. We'll be really interested if that's gonna happen. As right now, a few Paladins have made their way through, which was probably through the left side. Yeah, there are no walls here. So there's definitely an open opportunity through the main door into the Teal's base to get into the market as well. But we're gonna be looking how this battle is gonna be coming, as the elephants are still not really strong enough from VladVonCarstein, and we also must not really underestimate the fact that at this point RBTV are leading on the team score by about 4,000. They are really growing on that all the time, so even though the economy seems to be really strong for both teams, and we don't really see any kind of significant victory anywhere, it seems that maybe RBTV are getting some slight advantage somewhere, and they are just maybe a bit more efficient in the battles they are actually taking. But there we go. Yet again, this is gonna be returning to the attack from Rocket Beans TV onto Viracita Pass, as they are waiting for a bit more army. And yet again, still, this is just kinda painful to see. All of those holes, it seems like they're gonna be finally noticed by the opponents. By the elephants coming in there right into the middle of the trade route, as of course a few more Paladins have gotten through. But yet again, as I said, they're not exactly all that dangerous to the trade of the enemy, as right now there's a way through, and Cambridge yet again not really walling, but Poxo isn't either, so that's not really something that would be the problem of only the orange player, or rather the purple player. Purple player is Cambridge. Well, plenty of Paladins still coming forward, as there is gonna be quite a squad of the blue ones as well. Gonna be maybe attempting to help somewhere on the left side also, as a few more halberdiers are coming forward, getting headshotted by the bombard towers, of course, as they are completely missing all of those Paladins, so they are not exactly gonna be too strong, as this is getting really kinda deadly for ByTs, as they are being pushed back where they were about an hour ago. Yeah, they are basically right now going where we were pretty much an hour ago. And that is gonna be something that Viracita Pass are not gonna be happy of at all, because of course this is gonna be meaning that RBTV are getting quite an important edge. Let's see at the economy. You can see Poxo at 20 villages, 66 for a lot, 32 and 41 for the rest of the players, and for the opponent 72, 62, 40 and 37. So they are still keeping a bit stronger economy, and maybe, just maybe it's actually working for them, because at this point it definitely is. You can see the switch in momentum is also in the population limit scene. You can see basically pop limit for Sommos, Lottchen, and for Stonepiece kind of in there. MangoBread is the only one who's lagging behind because he's missing the castles. Whereas for ByT, they are absolutely in a horrible situation, as only one close enough to pop limit is Moneimon. Whereas the rest of the players are 164, 152, 135 for Poxo. So this is really critical moment for Viracita Pass, and a moment where it all could be decided, because this is a place where if ByTs are not able to hold this, then they quite definitely are gonna be losing, as there is probably not gonna be all that much of a second chance for them being given, as even though they are attempting something on the right side, at least trying to block the red player from advancing ever forward, as Poxo is gonna be yet again trying to fix the holes in the wall. There is one new one on the right side, of which he maybe is not aware of, that Cambridge just made there. So yeah, well, let's see how that's gonna be going, as the trade is still quite fine, even reinforced by a few board towers coming forward from Stonepiece. So it seems it's gonna be getting increasingly difficult for the opponents to somehow get there, as they are exactly right now trying to do the same as the opponents did to them a bit before. Okay, so this combination of Conquistadors and Paladins finally arriving on the left side is gonna be kinda equaling the Paladins that are coming in from Moneimon, as Moneimon is not really having all that many of them here, and this is really aiming into a huge battle of all players on basically one spot, and that might be exactly what will decide the whole game. And in that case, with all the armies at basically one spot, those Scorpions could be pretty important, but finally we see what should have happened about 10 minutes ago already, those onagers, destroying them. And if this happened 10 minutes ago, then we probably didn't have to be in a situation like this. But well, still very well done by RBTV to properly using everything at their disposal, and very good reaction with those scorpions, which are definitely the reason why we are exactly in this position in this game number 2 of this round 1 match, as we are also looking quite solid trading going on in ByT straight. Still, it's only Paladin, so it's nothing really all that crucial. Mangurais and Conquistadors and something like that is always much more deadly. So right now those halberdiers are probably gonna be catching up with them and deleting them fast enough. So it's nothing all that game changing or rather game winning too much. But we also must look at that maybe even wood is gonna be running out here a bit. You can see there's not really all that much of wood on the top side of the map. This is kind of funny. Oh yeah, oh well. There is actually absolutely no wood at the top side of the map. There is absolutely no wood for Birasita Pass. Whereas for the opponents, they still do have quite some places where to gather wood, so they're absolutely fine on that regard. So this might be actually another reason why ByTs had to be a bit worried. As not only are the opponents getting into the trade route, they're also running out of the wood here. They're also running out of the wood quite a bit. You can see a lot of elephants actually died in the major battle here, and unfortunately for ByTs that were basically all of theirs, as well, still plenty of orange ones with plenty of Mangurais behind them. And of course some halberdiers and scorpions still following up. This seems like, especially with the second reinforcements to the left side, where they just didn't wall up, ByTs coming right into the trade. This is looking not very good for the Spanish, and very great, of course, for the Germans, that we might be heading maybe into tie in this match. Well, why not? It's definitely a possibility, and it's not like RBTV wouldn't be deserving it, looking at game number 1, and of course, especially right now at game number 2. On the other side, we don't really see anything all that major happening in here, it seems. Just a lot of army actually right now getting prepared. You can see Siege with Paladins that's gonna be coming forward and maybe trying to destroy Poxo in full. At this point, a few idle Paladins, they are standing there for quite some time already, but otherwise they are not really getting through. As everything seems to be coming to the left battlefield, basically into the middle of the enemy trade. As yeah, those Mongols are trying to stop the onslaught and the slaughter, of course, of the trade cards as well. But it seems that this huge army of the Paladins, especially if it's gonna be supported by everything that's gonna be coming there from RBTV, then we might be also looking at, well, maybe not a situation that Birasita Pass could be coming back from, because at this point they are really struggling. They're heavily struggling because the combination is working very well against them. The Paladins, the halberdiers, of course with the Mangurais, it's really strong, and they're not really able to field everything like that the same, as the Mangurais are in good enough numbers in there, but they are losing the markets, and of course once they lose even more of them, and they're not gonna be replaced fast enough, they should be already building a few more, like about here, there, something like that. Basically make sure that they are not gonna be stopping their gold income all that much, then we might be heading into really some few last minutes of the game, as this is very well used by RBTV, the huge mistake of not walling up on this part. And yeah, you can see that even Lottchen is producing quite nice bombard towers to help him basically stop any kind of attempts at reclaiming this part of the map and at the walling. So he is really gaining quite solid ground, and it's gonna be getting quite difficult for Birasita Pass to somehow counterplay this clever beat. Well, let's go back here into the middle, where a bit more important battle is actually right now going on, with still, yeah, the elephants from VladVonCarstein are not exactly enough. It's even supported by all the Chukonus, of course, from Poxo. Doesn't seem to be enough right now. They're even gonna be killed, I'm pretty sure, by the Paladins, supported by a few of those heavy Scorpions. So yeah, well, those Scorpions, that's definitely a game-winning move in this one. So far, it's not really over yet, but they are absolutely upending what Birasita Pass are doing and what they were doing before. As we are gonna be looking at the army finally coming forward. Yes, it seems like that they actually are. As yeah, Vlad also doesn't have any kind of huge actually amount of units or everything, and he is quite low on the score in there. So it seems like basically. What? Is there maybe something wrong with Vlad? I'm not entirely certain, but it's definitely true that he doesn't really have all that much of a production, to be honest. Let's reach into his point of view. Even though he does have quite some economy in there, he should be having plenty of everything. So yeah, it's kinda curious. And I'm kinda thinking that it almost seems like that ByT think that he's not actually present, that he's AFK. Well, no matter what is actually the case, maybe you're gonna be learning it a bit later. This was one hell of a game. 2 hours passed. 2 hours passed. It's gonna be a GG right now being called. And RBTV are gonna be claiming their first game in RTS League. And they're gonna be timed with Virasi Tapas in the round 1 matchup. So, pretty good job. Pretty good job, an unexpected one as well. And division number 4 is gonna be very interesting all around. All around indeed. Okay, so everybody's right now resigned, just VladVonCarstein isn't, which is right now maybe confirming that he wasn't maybe that much there, but that's just a speculation at this point. But with all those cries from ByT, it's not that impossible to be honest, but still it doesn't take anything from the battle, because just basically what was winning move at this point, those heavy scorpions, do we see some still here? There they are, those yellow guys. Those were the game-winning move, absolutely certainly, and ByT is not able to react to them properly with siege on edges, siege on edges in time. That was really a big surprise for the Spanish, and just weren't able to deal with that. Until those came, it definitely looked like that ByT were on the horse and in the saddle and were going to win. It wasn't really done, but they were still going quite well into the offensive. They were almost killing MangoBread. But it was one hell of an idea. Whoever had that, that's the reason why RBTV didn't lose and won in the end. Very well done, GG. Let's look at the achievements at the very end after 2 hours of battle. After 2 hours of huge battle, and we're gonna be looking at huge numbers, of course. Huge numbers indeed. You can see 1451 MangoBread unit skill. Units lost for Poxo 1723. Good numbers. Good numbers indeed. 163,000 gold for MangoBread. Wow, that's a lot. That is a huge lot. Yeah, big battles everywhere. It was really one hell of a battle. One hell of a battle, of course. Okay, GG. Let's go back to the game room then, correct the score for a tie at 1-1 for Rocket Bean CV. Taking their home map, so each clan took their home map, and oh well, that was a good battle. If you enjoyed today's battle, definitely would be doing a good thing if you followed us here on the stream, because this is just the first round. We're gonna be following up with 6 more rounds, 7 in total, and then you're gonna be heading into playoffs with like 4 or 5 weeks more of the top quality clan wars in the community. So you could have already seen this is well worth it, and RTS League well running already from 2001. Wow, best clans, and not even just best clans, all the clans from across the community. Now those games, they are definitely great. Oh well, so that was a long game indeed. Yet again, hope you enjoyed, and of course, since we are partnered, you are also free to support us if you would like to see more of RTS League goodness, and of course, if you would like to help us improve on what we are supporting the community with. And otherwise, we are having Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube much more than anything, with all the links being /RTS League, and also being linked in the buttons below the stream if you are interested. Facebook and Twitter are good to learn of everything that is going on in the league, and of course where the next streams are gonna be on. And well, YouTube, of course, that's gonna be for the streamings that you maybe could have missed, so that you can watch them at your own convenience. The same as, for example, in the past broadcasts here in the channel. So well, these games have been played on Woobly, the best place for Age of Empires and Age of Mythology multiplayer, of course, using user patch 1.5, Beta R7 and Vololo Kingdoms, pretty great things, both of them. Of course, user patch being like the greatest one that has ever happened to Age of Empires, so thank you, Scripter, quite a lot. And of course, this was one hell of a performance, of course, for me streaming those 3 hours of gameplay. So hope that you enjoyed. I've been Blackadder, and if you're interested in some more streamings of mine, I'm also having, of course, my Twitch, YouTube, and whatever. You can find my links below the stream. If you see the list of the streamers in there, otherwise it's /Blackaddersplays. You can also type the command that is entitled !caster. But yeah, well, I would be glad if you visited us on some other streams because there are gonna be plenty of them over the weekend. On Saturday, on Sunday. On Saturday, there's probably gonna be at 18 GMT Stinson with Tatoch versus Reformed Coaches, the same team that you see in other competitions. So it's gonna be really interesting also to stream, I hope, and watch mainly. And then there are basically 18 matches per week. So 18 matches per week in RTS League for the 7 weeks to come. So plenty of room for you to catch some games live, and hopefully we're gonna be seeing you at some next ones, of course. So, well, some community resources. I probably don't need to remind everybody about aoism.com, the basic home of the Age of Empires community. Age of Kings Heaven, that is good for scenarios and mods, and of course the Reddit/AoE too, but you probably know all about that. So thank you for watching. I've been Blackadder at the RTS League channel. Thank you for watching, and see you later.